This comes to us from Preston Byrne, and this is somebody who I've been covering quite often on the channel as of late, and he has been banger after banger on X, a fantastic follow. Every time I talk about him, I say this. Check him out. He's a tech and free speech lawyer, head of legal and compliance at Arkham, managing partner at Byrne Storm, senior fellow at ASI, all views my own. He is currently alongside my lawyer, the legend himself, Ron Coleman, representing, I gotta get through this without laughing, representing 4chan and Kiwi Farms, and the name of what they call themselves is classic. But let me go through this first and we'll get to it. On behalf of our clients, 4chan and Kiwi Farms, the law firms of Byrne Storm, PC, Byrne Storm, and Coleman Law Firm, PC, Ron Coleman, have today filed a federal lawsuit against the UK Office of Communications, aka Ofcom, in DC federal court. Preston Byrne of Byrne Storm, PC, counsel for the plaintiffs, said, American citizens do not surrender our constitutional rights just because Alyssa Mercante, my bad. Just because Ofcom sends us an email. In the face of these unlawful foreign demands, our clients have bravely chosen to assert their constitutional rights. The UK Online Safety Act is a brazen attempt by a foreign country to hobble American competitiveness and suffocate American freedom by exporting the UK's censorship laws to our shores. If foreign countries feel like bullying Americans, that is their prerogative. The First Amendment bar is prepared to hail any foreign censor into federal court at any time to defend any American. Ron Coleman of Coleman Law Firm, counsel of plaintiffs, said, with this action, our clients defend the free speech rights of every American. You're goddamn right. Fucking legend. Love this guy. Foreign interference of the type seen in this case is precisely what the First Amendment is meant to protect against. We have asked the court to confirm that Ofcom has no authority to impose or enforce unconstitutional UK laws on American soil. Now, this is kind of following up on the other story I talked about with 4chan currently being assessed a fine of upwards of what was it, like something along the lines of like $10,000 or $20,000 a day for being not in compliance with Ofcom's laws, which they just said go pound sand. You can keep adding up whatever you say we owe you. We don't owe you jack shit. You can't do that to us. We are an American company. Go look at what our rights are. We already beat your asses in a war once. Don't make us do it again. So this is the lawsuit that has been filed. And what I was starting this off with laughing about it, 4chan Community Support LLC and LolCow LLC, DBA Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms, their LLC is called LolCow. That's amazing. Oh, man. Imagine reading this in a court document. That's amazing. 2025 just keeps on giving. And Preston links the full complaint, and he says, I add, Ofcom gave our client 4chan a deadline to respond to their letters. The deadline passed yesterday. This lawsuit is our client's response. Don't fuck with us, bro. That's awesome. To be clear, I love the UK. I spent 15 years of my life there. Virtually all of my friends are there. I hope to go back one day. But the UK has gone off the rails in the last 25 years. I can be more effective as a UK free speech activist from the USA. And this is quote tweeting expat Cayman, who is a partner in a law firm, said fully behind the lawsuit and best of luck. But if any one person could be said to have invented the internet, that person would be Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is, I'm proud to say, a Brit, which I would 1,000,000% disagree with that, because as far as I understand, The internet was actually invented by the United States military way back in the day. But I mean, that's another story for another day. Preston continues. He says, indeed, at one point, I was eligible for indefinite leave to remain, pathway to a passport. I declined to pursue it because I considered that too much of a risk to my personal freedom. The intervening years have shown that my instincts on that point were right. And this brings me to the actual court filing that they've filed on behalf of 4chan and Kiwi Farms. You know what's funny about all this, by the way, is like starting this channel focusing on gaming and just making sure that games stay games and don't get injected with politics, political ideologies, communism, Marxism, trying to indoctrinate younger kids, trying to get at the kids with that kind of stuff. It's led this channel down a pathway into an area where I never expected it to go, but I would be remiss if I ignored how important all of this is right now. This is a massive battle, maybe the biggest battle of our lifetimes. And I'm not even joking when I say that. That's how serious this is. The entire stake of the World Wide Web is on the line right now with what the UK is doing. No one has really ever challenged it on a worldwide approach like the UK has, to the best of my knowledge. And this is pretty serious if they are to be successful, which, let's be honest, they won't be. And I think we all know that, but still important to fight back and make people abreast of what's happening with all of it. Anyways, here's the complaint. The plaintiffs versus the defendant of the Ofcom, which is, again, Ronald Coleman is representing me, and I am the defendant in my case. In this case, he is the one proactively suing. He's not defending, he's suing in this one. Plaintiffs 4chan Community Support LLC and Lolcow LLC, through their undersigned counsel, allege and say the following for their complaint against defendant Ofcom. The internet is a global system of communication between computer servers located in data centers around the world. Despite the internet's global reach, it is more or less universally acknowledged that the internet is predominantly an American invention. An American innovation built by American citizens, residents, and companies, and that the United States has the largest and most thriving technology sector of any G7 member state. Foreign governments, particularly those in Europe, which have not managed to build technology sectors of their own, have, for the past half decade or more, sought to control the American internet and hobble American competitiveness through a range of legislative and non-legislative initiatives. These foreign governments have threatened American and other non-European entrepreneurs with a wide range of coercive threats, including fines, which are crazy enough. But if you've been paying attention to the news in the UK, the arrests and imprisonment for people on social media that are just calling people like dumb or fat or just a number of slur words, I guess you could say, whatever they qualify as a slur word over there, that you literally go to jail for saying it online, and it's not North Korea or China. Insane. Never thought in my lifetime that would ever happen. But here we have the UK doing that for engaging in conduct which is perfectly lawful in other territories where their websites are based, including the United States. So what they're saying is you shouldn't even, not that it's our jurisdiction, but you shouldn't even be imprisoning the people over there for these crimes because they're technically doing it with an American company, which is outside of your jurisdiction over there. But you guys go ahead and do whatever crazy shit you want to do over there. But don't try to drag us into it, is what the long and short of this is all saying. The UK recently joined France in seeking to apply its domestic laws to the rest of the world with the enactment of its censorship law, the Online Safety Act 2023, or OSA, immediately after the OSA's substantive provisions entered its force. This censorship law was used to target free speech rights of American citizens. And by the way, still is. And even internally in the United States, there are some states in specific that are pointing at OSA to try to use that to apply censorship laws in the United States, which is insane to me. These people are traitors to our own country in governmental positions in our country. How the hell did we even get here? Oh, it's for the children. Right. And not people greasing people's back pockets and filling their purses with money. Of course. Netflix Foreign says we need to save France too, Smash. I mean, we need to save a lot of countries. Once again, fucking America to the rescue. Here we go, guys. We got to control the whole world again. Be like, don't be telling people to do that kind of stuff. Do we really need to be the worldwide police force? Apparently we do. Parties talks about plaintiff 4chan. Delaware was a colony of the Kingdom of Great Britain. I love how they go into history. Ron definitely wrote this part. Until the Assembly of Lower Counties of Pennsylvania declared itself independent of British authority on June 15th, 1776. Is this? Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Wait. Even my shirt. What's the date on my shirt? 17th. I didn't even mean to wear this shirt tonight. Oh, that's funny. Thereby creating the state of Delaware. Delaware subsequently was the first state to ratify the Declaration of Independence, the instrument which created the United States of America. On July 4th, 1776, under the terms of the 1783 Treaty of Paris, the Kingdom of Great Britain officially acknowledged the United States as a sovereign and independent nation. And you'll love it. You'll love to see it. It's never forget history. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, obviously, because it's 22 pages, but it goes through the whole experience of what's going on with what Ofcom's ambitions are to regulate the internet. Ofcom states over 100,000 online services are likely to be in scope of the Online Safety Act. Hey, that sounds like a you problem, not an us problem. And it goes on to more what Ofcom's trying to do and why this is against the law in America and how they can do whatever the hell they want over in the UK, but they can't do that in America. And I mean, this is such an easy W. It's such an open and shut case, you would think. But again, in the court of law, especially in America these days, you have no idea what they're going to do about it. But let's see what they're asking for. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiffs requestfully request that this court enter judgment in the favor and against the defendant and grant the following. A declaration that Ofcom's attempts to serve process on the plaintiffs were improper and invalid, which, oh, by the way, isn't it interesting and curious that Ofcom is choosing to go after 4chan and Kiwi Farms first? Because they're pulling an Alyssa Mercante, which she went after Kiwi Farms first, and they laughed her out of the room. And then she came after me next, and I laughed her out of the room. And she was like, I think I'm going to try my shot with him first. She just completely dropped whatever she was trying to do with Kiwi Farms and decided to come after me for whatever reason, to use me as an example to then springboard to go after everybody else, which you could argue is exactly what the UK is trying to do here, going after 4chan and Kiwi Farms, because they may not have the best reputation online. So they're trying to get a win where they can try to make a case for it and then reference that case at other places that aren't questionable websites or don't have negative sentiments around them. So they want a declaration that Ofcom's attempts to serve process on the plaintiffs were improper and invalid, a permanent injunction prohibiting Ofcom from issuing any further orders or demands to the plaintiffs without proper service through the US-UK Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty or other proper international legal process, which I would argue that should be the first step right now anyways. Wild that they need to be sued for that to be the first step, but yes, a declaration that Ofcom's orders and demands are unenforceable in the United States as inconsistent with the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments to the United States Constitution, the Speech Act, the Communications Decency Act, the U.S. Public Policy. D, a permanent injunction prohibiting Ofcom from enforcing or attempting to enforce the Online Safety Act against plaintiffs in the United States and such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. AKA, hey, judge, if you really think that they're railing us from behind here and they don't have any right to, you can turn this whole entire thing around and just say, you actually, whatever you were charging 4chan as a penalty or a fine every single day, what you tallied up, that's actually what you owe them. That's the relief for them. And then see what the UK does about that. But that is like the UK might say, no, go pound sand on that too, which I wouldn't doubt either. I don't know how the international treaties work with all that kind of stuff. But at this point, this is what we have right now. I'll 100% be following this one very closely. And stay tuned because Preston Byrne is somebody that you might be seeing around here potentially. So shout out to Preston. Shout out to Ron Coleman. Thank you for representing the United States honorably. And go knock him. I was going to say knock him dead, but go beat the piss out of him again. I guess is the best way to put it.